Well, thank you very much, and thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your stalwart efforts over the years on the issues of human rights, but particularly on this particular human right, which is the right to worship God or not worship God according to one's own conscience. And you've played such an important role. You personally have saved thousands of lives, and I want to thank you for that. And people ought to know that our activism here has an impact overseas for people who are living in a shadow of tyranny and repression and murder. We have today, of course, in the past, we know that suppression of religious freedom has always been part of the human condition. We know that the history of Christians, even 1,000 years ago, we had Christian armies slaughtering each other or going into separate countries and slaughtering the Huguenots for killing the Catholics and et cetera, et cetera. I'm pleased to say, thanks to people like you in the United States and in the Western world, we have put that behind us now. And it's important that America needs to lead the way on issues like this. And today, of course, we face an enormous challenge. And that challenge is that Christians in the Middle East in particular are being targeted for extinction. They are targeted for genocide. And we know that during the communist era, that the communists who we helped defeat wanted an atheist dictatorship and were responsible for murdering millions of people, but of all faiths, I might add. But today, we have the threat of our generation is to cope with the rise of radical Islamic terrorism, which is targeting Christians in the Middle East for extinction. And unless we act, those people who represent a culture, represent a large population of people who worship God, will be wiped out. Genocide will be successful. Now, we have some challenges with Muslims, like in Burma and elsewhere. Muslims are being denied their rights. We need to acknowledge that. But we need to tell the Muslim world without hesitation that this fight with Christianity, to the point that they are exterminating Christians in Syria and elsewhere. The church, when Morsi was in charge there in Egypt, they were burning down Catholic churches. This has got to stop. I have a piece of legislation that I'd like to work with you, Mr. Chairman, on. I have one that's a sense of the House that the Christian community in the Middle East are targets of genocide, and that our immigration policy from that part of the world should put anyone who's a target of genocide at the top of the list of priorities of being admitted to the United States. And that's the sense of the House. I am currently working on a resolution that would actually change the basic law, immigration law, to reflect that priority. If people are targeted for extermination, targeted for genocide, we should make them a priority to offer the safe haven of the United States, which we're so proud of, that we have been the shining light and the refuge to the world. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.